She thought this temp job would be quiet paperwork. Then she told the CEO what everyone was too afraid to say. Now labeled a troublemaker, Helen must navigate icy glares and hidden allies to prove some truths can't be retired. The Lexington Grand Ballroom shimmered with the kind of opulence Helen hadn't seen since her retirement party 15 years ago. Crystal chandeliers cast kaleidoscope patterns on linen-draped tables, each place setting polished to military perfection. At 68, Helen Mills stood by the entrance in her best taupe blazer, a temp worker filling in for a sick events coordinator. She smoothed her silver bob, feeling like a weathered library book misplaced in a tech startup. Her assignment was simple: observe seating logistics, but her orthopedic shoes ached, and every chair near the bustling waiters was occupied. Then she spotted a secluded table near the stage. Untouched, its centerpiece of white lilies radiating calm, Helen missed the reserve sign tucked beneath the blooms. She sank into the chair with relief. 2 minutes of blessed silence passed before a man in a charcoal suit slid into the seat opposite her. Late 50s, storm-gray temples, eyes that missed nothing. His smile was warmer than she expected. "Either you re the bravest person here," he said, "or delightfully lost." Helen's grip tightened on her purse. "I am so sorry, is this your seat?" "Technically, yes." He leaned in, conspiratorial. "But I'd rather share it with someone interesting." Against her instincts, Helen relaxed. He introduced himself as Daniel. They chatted about the city's changes, her grandkids, his useless smartwatch. Then he asked, "What is the biggest difference you've noticed since returning?" Helen hesitated. "Back in my day we listened. Now, everyone's drowning in emails nobody reads." Daniel's gaze sharpened. "Go on." The words tumbled out the fragmented teams. The burnout, how young hires craved guidance but got PowerPoints instead. She only stopped when a nearby VP dropped his fork mid-bite. Daniel just nodded. "Fascinating." The lights dimmed. A voice boomed, "Welcome our CEO, Daniel Whitmore." Helen froze. Daniel stood, winked, and strode to the podium. She fled to the farthest corner, cheeks burning. Her supervisor found her at midnight cleanup. Eyes glacial. "The CEO, Helen? Really?" The next morning, her temporary badge wouldn't scan the main elevator. Helen arrived at 6:45 a.m. the next morning, thermos in hand, determined to outlast the whispers. But the office felt altered, frost spreading across glass walls. Her temporary workstation, once cluttered with event plans, now held only a sticky note, "See Brenda," and records. The elevator ding of her supervisor's heels announced the verdict. "Helen," Brenda's voice could freeze coffee, "we've reassigned you. Basement archives need organizing. No eye contact. No please. Just the metallic taste of punishment." The basement smelled of dust and forgotten ambitions. Cardboard boxes towered like a city Helen didn't recognize. Her new desk was a folding table beside a flickering fluorescent light. Brenda dropped a banker's box overflowing with 2010 payroll files. Chronological order. By Friday, upstairs, Helen's absence became a warning. Temps avoided her gaze in the break room. Heard she called the CEO senile. Someone murmured near the copier, but in the basement's cathedral quiet, Helen found rhythms. She hummed Sinatra while sorting files, uncovering patterns, departments bleeding talent, promotions favoring flash over substance. At lunch, she ate egg salad sandwiches alone until Jamal, the 22-year-old male courier, plopped down with 2 green teas. "Gran, you look like you need real caffeine." She almost wept. That afternoon, heralded a scruff veteran with a Walkman obsession appeared holding a desk lamp. "I strain's no joke." He plugged it in without waiting for thanks. When Brenda descended at 5 p.m., Helen handed back the sorted box. "Early." Brenda's nostrils flared. "I'll bring more tomorrow." As Helen left, she spotted Daniel Whitmore through a conference room window. He glanced down, met her eyes, and gave the faintest nod, like comrades acknowledging a shared front. She walked taller past the staring temps. Let them whisper. She survived harder silences. The email arrived as Helen polished her reading glasses. "Miss Mills, Rooftop Terrace. 4 p.m. Bring insights. E2. Her hands trembled. 40 years of typing memos for executives had trained her to decode brevity. This was either a firing or a lifeline. At 3:58 p.m., she emerged into golden hour light. The city sprawled below like a circuit board. Daniel leaned against the railing, 2 steaming mugs in hand. "Chamomile," he said. "Figured you'd hate corporate coffee." She accepted it, bracing for condemnation. Instead, he gestured to a spreadsheet. "You spotted what my analysts missed." She squinted her basement notes on attrition rates, now highlighted. "The best people leave quietly," Helen said. "They don't fill out exit surveys." Daniel's laugh was bitter. "I promoted Brenda last quarter." Helen stiffened. "She is efficient and terrified of humanity." He countered. "Why do you think I noticed you? You're the only person here who talks like a real person." Wind tugged at Helen's blazer. "In my day we didn't have employee engagement metrics. We had conversations." Daniel turned, his intensity softening. "My first job was stocking shelves. Manager was a Wasain vet who taught me to read expiration dates like hieroglyphics." "You remind me of him." Helen's throat tightened. "What happens now?" "Now." He slid a folder toward her. You help me fix this. Inside a draft program pairing retirees with new hires, Helen S. name headed the task force. Brenda 1T like this. Daniel S. smile turned sly. She'll learn. Like I did from that shelf stoker. As Helen descended, the basement's flickering light felt less like exile and more like a chrysalis. The program leaked at 9:07 m via Brenda S. accidental all-staff email. Subject line: Senior Charity Project Volunteers Needed. Helen S. mentorship plan reframed as geriatric outreach. Snickers trailed her to the copier. Think she'll knit us company sweaters? A sales associate stage whispered. Even Jamal avoided eye contact, dumping mailboxes with unusual speed. In the brick room, Helen found her chamomile tea bags replaced with prune juice packets. Her hands shook not from anger, but the old familiar ache of being deemed obsolete. Then Daniel appeared in the doorway, crisp suit radiating CEO chill. Problem, Brenda. The room iced over, just repurposing underutilized resources. Brenda herped. Daniel picked up a prune juice box. Creative. But next time, he tossed it neatly into the trash. Use your words. That afternoon, Helen S. Keard unlocked the 24th floor for the first time. Daniel's assistant handed her a tablet glowing with real-time feedback. Miss Mills asked about my mom's chemo. Nobody does that. She showed me how to archive emails. Lifesaver. Daniel leaned against his desk. Still think you reach just a temp? But vindication soured when Helen returned to her basement desk, now vandalized. Someone had taped a retirement brochure to her chair with "Go Home" scrawled across it. For a heartbeat, she considered quitting. Then Harold lumbered in, dropped a vintage typewriter on her desk. For drafting LAPEX, he grunted. Minutes later, Jamal slid a note under the door. They mad cause you care. Don T. Stop. J. Helen fed paper into the typewriter. Lick-lack echoes joined the basement as hum. Upstairs, Brenda could sabotage. Down here, Helen would build. 6 weeks later, the boardroom screen displayed results. Even Brenda Olden T-spin 37.0% drop in new tire turnover. Retention bonuses saved too. Bonham. Helen sat stiffly beside Daniel, her peach suit whispering resilience. When CFO Evans sneered, correlation isn't causation, Daniel slid a handwritten note to Helen. Tell them. She stood, knees protesting, voice clear as cut glass. Mr. Evans. In 1987, this company almost collapsed. Know what saved it? She tapped the projector remote. A scan memo filled the screen, her own 34-year-old typing visible in the CC line. We paired veterans with rookies, shared institutional memory. You called it sentimental. The CEO called it profit. Dead silence. Then Daniel stood. Meet our new interim head of mentorship. Brenda S. pen snapped. Afterward, Helen found prune juice boxes stacked neatly on her new desk. Apology from sales. At 5:00 p.m., Daniel appeared holding 2 tubs. One condition. Helen said, I keep my basement office quieter. He laughed. Deal. Months later, walking through headquarters, Helen heard whispers, but now they said that as her young hire stopped her for advice. Retirees emailed offering to mentor. Her temp badge hung framed beside Harold's typewriter, labeled weapons of mass instruction. On her 70th birthday, Jamal delivered a cake shaped like a file cabinet. The card read, to the woman who proved some fires burn brighter after retirement. Keep lighting matches. The kids. Helen blew out candles in the basement. Surrounded by files that had become her blueprint, some legacies aren't etched in corner offices, they repassed hand to hand, one honest conversation at a time.